there, and welcome to the Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. I'm your host, Vidas Pinkevičius. Welcome to Secrets of Organ Playing podcast number 83. Today is Sunday, February 26, 2017. And today's guests are Lydia Vroegindeweij from the Netherlands, the Dutch organist and founder of OrgelKids, and Erin Scheessele from the United States, who helps bringing organ kits to America with OrgelKids USA. OrgelKids is an educational pipe organ curriculum and kit dreamed up by Lydia, and Lydia enlisted the help of organ builder Wim Janssen to build the first and only two OrgelKids kits in existence. With OrgelKids, young children are empowered to assemble a working 2-rank, 2-octave pipe organ in under an hour. OrgelKids can be deployed into schools, music festivals, maker fairs, museums, bringing the king of instruments to children. And Erin's son, Peter, is 7 years old and he loves pipe organs. He is an active member of Eugene Chapter of the American Guild of Organists, and Peter also likes pipe organs, but he would like to be able to build pipe organs too. So Google search for pipe organ kit led Peter to OrgelKids. Peter wrote to Lydia Vroegindeweij, founder of OrgelKids in the Netherlands, asking if she'd be willing to share her schematics for building a kit and for them to bring OrgelKids to the USA. Lydia's prompt reply was an enthusiastic yeah, and she expressed joy that her idea of how to bring the pipe organ to children could grow and reach a wider audience. In this conversation, we talk about this beautiful idea to bring the pipe organ closer to children. Let's go to the show. About a month ago, my friend Paulus from Vilnius, he's an organist too, sent me a link to OrgelKids website, and it was actually the second time I heard about it, and was amazed about amazing educational activities you do, Lydia. And when I found out that there is OrgelKids USA, I was blown away, right, with the idea that educational organs which can be assembled right in front of your eyes, right, can travel across Atlantic. This idea can become viral in the 21st century. Isn't that amazing? Thank you so much, Erin, Lydia, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Great. Let's talk with a wonderful story of your childhood. It will be a starting story. Lydia, with you, how did you first fell in love with the organ? Do you remember?
It was quite simple. I had 2 years of music education, just reading notes and all that stuff, and then it was the way you have to make a choice. What is the next instrument you want to study? And a guy next door played organ, so well, organ is okay for me.
So because of this, your neighbor, right, you decided to try out the pipe organ, right?
Yes, and my grandfather, he had a harmonium in his house, and I played something when we visited, but it didn't make a very big impression on me.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. And when did you discover that organ is really a passion for life?
It was in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
I went on a trip for 2 weeks to Germany, to Leipzig, and the other places where Bach has worked and lived. And it was a trip about Luther and Bach. And I was studying theology at that moment, so I came on the trip for Luther and I came home with Bach.
Wow. Luther, Bach, and OrgelKids, right? We will
Yes.
talk about that a little bit later in a moment. But then let's ask Erin, how did you started your organ journey in your early childhood, perhaps?
It wasn't my early childhood. It was my son's childhood. I'm doing this for my son. And where he came from, I don't know. Where his love of organ, I don't know. But even as a 3-year-old, so Peter is my oldest son, and he is now 8. But even as a 3-year-old, we witnessed that he was just captivated by music, but specifically the pipe organ at church, which has visible swell shutters. And at the time, we had a wonderful organist, Miles Chris, who had been canon of music, I think, at the cathedral in Topeka, Kansas for decades. But he was blessing our tiny little church for a while. And this 3-year-old who just has innate musical skill was captivated watching this man control this instrument and the swell shutters responding to his foot input. And so from there, we just followed Peter's passion and Google search for pipe organ kits for children led us to one of Lydia's videos.
Wonderful.
About OrgelKids. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all connected, right? Your child, right? Your son, and then Lydia's work, which started earlier, right? And it led to OrgelKids website, right? So Lydia, let's go back to your story. How did you decide to do something educational with organ? Of course, many organists are in love with this instrument, and there is no question about it, right? They talk about it, they play beautiful music, right? Written by early masters, later masters, even improvise, right? Sometimes people compose music. But you decided to do something different, right? You decided to cross the border between the general audience, kids, right, and organ builders, right, and organists themselves. You are like a connector between those 3 things: instrument, listeners, and of course organ builders and real organists. 4 things. So Lydia, can you share the starting point? What was happening in your mind when you decided to do OrgelKids?
Well, I wanted to do something good for the cultural environment in the Netherlands. Let's start where it started. And I saw that there's spent a lot of money in restoration of the beautiful old organs we have in the Netherlands. We have a big heritage on beautiful organs from the 16th and 17th century. And later, of course, and a lot of organs need restoration. There are spent huge amounts of money in it, but the younger people do not get acquainted to that nice instrument. And I think when we have to do something real good, we have to make it accessible for children. What is an organ? How can I fall in love with it? And when children do not come on a regular basis in churches, that's the question in the Netherlands, and only on moments that it's not so much pleasure. For example, when a grandparent has died, then that's not a moment to fall in love with the organ. And when you can make other situations that children can meet the church organs, the pipe organs, maybe that is much more fun and will be a lovely connection. So I started just with a website in 2009 to collect the little projects that were running all over the country, but it were just short events. One organist brings one class in a certain church. They hear the organ, play something, hear a little concert, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And on my website, I tried to collect all those little events, just to share it with others. When you need some inspiration, look at my site, and maybe you can find something to do in your own town or with your own neighbor school or whatever. But
amazing, amazing effort, Lydia. I was going to interrupt you because in Lithuania it's a little bit different, right? People still go to churches from time to time, usually on big I don't know, festivities like Christmas and Easter, right? Pentecost, right? But not so much during the regular year, especially young people, right? So what we did some time ago, we went for organ demonstrations in provinces of Lithuania. We basically called up local organists and priests and said, hey, we have this educational organ demonstration. Would you like to be a part of this? Maybe you have a group of school children, right? And then some priests and some organists were quite enthusiastic about that. So we did about over 30, and still continue to do in our church, in St. John's Church in Vilnius University. So, but Lydia, what you decided to do is completely upside down, right? You didn't you didn't invite people, for example, to the organ show, right? But you decided to bring the organ where they live, right? It's completely different idea. Amazing idea. Thank you so much, Lydia.
Yeah, but that idea came because people were asking me for, do you have a demonstration organ that we can have in our schools or on a central location near the school to prevent that they have to bring children to the church, because that's a lot of organization. And I was searching for such an organ, and there was one, but it was very big, and you need a real transport car to bring it somewhere. And I was searching for a small one that you can take with you in a normal personal car. Mm-hmm. And then I met Wim Janssen. He is the designer of the organ we have now as the OrgelKids organ. And his mission was, he's an organ builder, and his mission was let children build an organ by themselves. And not only a demonstration, here is what you see is an organ, and these are the loose parts of it, but just build it yourself and discover how it works. When does it need air? How works the keyboard? When do the pipes get air, and what sound does it bring? And that was exactly what I was searching for. So we had a deal, and I had one organ, and 2 years later a second organ took place in Belgium. And that's where Erin comes in, or exactly where Peter comes in. And he wanted to bring it to the United States. So that was the story. It was Wim Janssen. He developed the kit, so he needs all the credits for that. Mm-hmm. And it was a marvelous idea of a retired organ builder. He worked 40 years as an organ builder at Vroegindeveij, a big company for organ building. And it was his mission, how can we get children building organs?
Erin, isn't that a rather crazy idea, right? Sort of completely upside down, right? In real normal traditional world, organ builders build organs and organists play them, right? But here and the children build organs and they play them by themselves. Isn't that something remarkable, right?
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
And when my family saw the video of this, that was just perfect for my family, but on the other side of the world, it just seemed like, we need to help grow this idea. It was just, the perfect idea. And it just seemed like a no-brainer. Hey, we need to see if this is something we can help bring to the States. And so Peter wrote a note to Lydia and said pretty much that. I like your idea. I'm a little kid who likes organs, but I would like to really build one too. And that's what really drove this. He loves organs, he loves playing them, but he really wants to build them, because that's another fascinating aspect of organs. They're mechanically really cool, but also mechanically they can be very simple, and being an ancient instrument. So Peter wrote that note to Lydia, and she was very, very sharing and welcoming, and so we jumped on the bandwagon.
Lydia, did you have any opposition or backlash from, I don't know, fellow organists or fellow organ builders, or even the kids? Because what I was thinking right now is, in the age of iPhones and various electronic gadgets, right? Those mechanical ancient discoveries, right, of the world from centuries ago, are they still interesting for the 21st century generation, right? We're talking about not only millenniums, but generation X, Y, and Z probably, and beyond right now. So, Lydia, what was your first impression and connection between your idea, Wim, right, and the instrument and the kids? How they basically reacted to this?
Now kids love it. They love people who are authentic. So Wim Janssen, with his marvelous instrument, takes all their attention, and they get lost in building it. You can see it in the little movie we have on our website. The concentration on their faces, they just go for it. This has to make music. How will it work? What do we have to do? It's a large puzzle for them. It's a game to build this organ. You don't need a game on a phone or whatever. Build it with real wood, with real materials, and that makes them fall in love. They want to build it and research how will it work.
So, Erin, of course, right now in the 21st century, we're hearing a lot about the changes that education system has to undergo, right? Flipped classrooms, right? Where the teacher is no longer a teacher, but the students themselves are teachers, right? Where the teacher is not teaching the material and giving information, but kids are empowered to discover the ideas on their own, right? And the teacher is only the person who facilitates this process, or even who bothers the kids to, or pushes them further, right? Basically. So, Erin, what Lydia is doing, and you also, and Peter, right? Isn't that the same idea, that the kids themselves are allowed to discover how the organ works, right? Not Lydia, not Erin comes to their classroom and says, "Hey, I'm a big expert, right? And I will show you how it works. It has a millennium-old history, and it's a fantastic instrument, blah, blah, blah. It's all interesting," but the kids are not interacting with this, right, idea, but with this OrgelKids invention, they are. They are building for themselves. So, Erin, what was your feeling when you brought this organ to your community, and how they reacted in America?
I think you said it well when you said it's not top down, and that's why it works for me, because I'm not an organist a musician of any sort. So this is very much a bottom up. You hand them 133 pieces, and their attention, as Lydia said, is rapt attention, and they want to know what's next. And they're feeling these wood pieces and looking at the shapes and figuring out how this puzzle goes together. So yes, it's very much a bottom up exploration for them. Now, you described an educational system, a revolution that I don't recognize. That hasn't reached the States.
It has.
It has reached the Netherlands.
It has. But
it's in the Netherlands.
In smaller spots. It's not everywhere, but it's happening.
We hear about it. We point to Europe. We think, oh, wow, we wish we had that. And we have other revolutions on our hand right now.
Right.
But I do recognize that in other educational systems, like the Montessori method is very much child-led.
Exactly.
And this organ kit looks very much like Montessori materials. It's natural materials. And yes, the kids can, even the ones who can't read yet, the instructions are pictorial, but they don't even really need that. They get their hands on this and they start piecing it together. So yes, it's very much a bottom-up experience. The kit in the States is brand new. It was finished mid-December. So we've got it into one class of third graders. And they were just so fascinated because this is so different. This is a very different educational experience for them. Being children-led and hands-on, and they were all just so eager. Everyone wanted to make sure that they each got to do some of it. Place their keys, build the frame, put the tusks in the joints.
Yeah, maybe it's good to tell that the building of it is prepared in parts. There is one group of children, 3 or 4, who are building the frame, and another couple of kids are sorting the pipes or the keys, and they can work simultaneously, and then at a certain moment everything comes together, and you bring it to the one instrument. You assemble the organ. But they are working in little groups, and that goes on. It's made in a way that children understand what they have to do. Let me give an example. When you have the keys in the right order, there is one line that, or 2 lines, especially, that have to be right going through. And when that's not the case, you didn't do it in the right way. But that is an instructional help that is used in materials for the little children of 4 or 5 years old in educational materials. So they recognize it and then, oh, well, then I know what I have to do.
Wonderful.
And you don't need so much instruction for that.
So Lydia, of course, what you are describing for little kids, right? For elementary school children, when they get together, how many? 30, 10, maybe 15, maybe 20, depends on the situation, probably, right?
Yeah.
It probably is quite interdisciplinary approach for them. It's not only music, right? It's science, and it's also teamwork. Social studies, it's everything, right? It's all connected and prepares basically them for the real life situations later on, right? Later on, when they get to, I don't know, get to work, right? They all have to work together with the colleagues, right? To build something, to cooperate, and not to be so isolated, right? And this kit that you are describing with OrgelKids, they have to cross their own boundaries and tensions, right? They have to trust each other and also very much basically be a team, right? So Erin, in America, how are kids behaving? Let's say 30 kids in your situation, how they are collaborating on this project? Is it natural for them, or they have to fight between I'm first? No, I'm going to be first for leadership.
It was my
right?
idea.
Right?
I think that's why the music teacher chose third grade, because by third grade they figured out how to work in groups, and this so captivated their attention that they all wanted to turn, and so they were very eager to stand in line and wait their turn. And we even break it down into one child is installing one key at a time, while another child is handing them the key and keeping it in order, because they all worked together to get that keyboard in order. And so there was a lot of cooperation, and because they were so focused, they were on their best behavior. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
what I discovered recently, we have an echo right now. Can you hear the echo?
I hear it, yeah.
I don't.
You don't.
Yeah.
It was perhaps an accident. Right now it's gone. Good.
Yes.
Technology is sort of unpredictable. So what I was trying to remember. I described a little bit earlier organ demonstrations we are doing in Lithuania, sometimes here in Vilnius, sometimes in other parts of Lithuania. So sometimes people are transfixed with the organ, right? Young and older people. And sometimes after the demonstration itself, they come to me and say a magical sentence. Where can I learn to play the organ? Have you ever had this experience in your project, Lydia, Erin?
Yes, there are children who want to play the organ, and because afterwards, when it is built, they can play it, and sometimes children want to go further on with that.
Yes.
Well, they can go to the local organist in a local church and ask for lessons, because we don't have a large system with music schools for organ lessons. You have a private teacher most of the time, and that works out. They go to someone, and I have some names on the website where you can have contact with to find someone. But especially about the professional development for the future, what we see here is that when children build this organ, they all want to become organists or organ builders. But when you have the next week, some of the firefighters comes for an introduction of what is firefighting, then they all want to become firefighters. And that doesn't matter. Let them meet every kind of profession and every kind of interest. That's okay for me. And what I hope is that some of the children remember this moment of building an organ when they become grown up and they are in boards or organizations where they have to make decisions about restorations or sending money to cultural events, and that they then still remember, oh yes, an organ, that's a very interesting instrument. I built one once when I was a child.
Exactly.
When it's that's part of memory, then I am fully happy with that.
Exactly. So, Erin, of course, OrgelKids in USA are quite new, right? Idea. Did you have kids who wanted to learn to play these instruments after your class was done?
Ooh, good question. It was in a school setting.
I'm sure if it didn't happen yet, I'm sure in the future, in the very near future, it will happen. 100% sure. And you can write to me about that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking that in our materials that we make available to the students, and as Lydia said, I'll need to include a list of not only local organ. Well, one thing that we were going to do is include a list to the school students of the local concerts that happen that might involve organ, so that they understand that this is out there. It's accessible to them. They're invited and welcome to these concerts. Mm-hmm. And as Lydia said, having built one, they're going to feel a little more ownership and more willing to participate in that. But I'll need to add to that a list of organs in the community where they could go look, and the names of those organists, and which one of those offer organ lessons, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Definitely.
Maybe it's good to mention that building this organ in the school, and the organ kid can go to the school, is part of let's say 3 lessons. The first lesson is given in the school and by the normal teacher of the school, or a music teacher, about the different families of music instruments, the types, the flutes and the violins and whatever, and organ is a part of that. And that ends with the question: is it a key instrument, or is it a how do you call it?
String instrument, wind instrument, right?
Yeah, is it a wind instrument or instrument with keys?
Yes.
And then the next lesson is build an organ and discover what is the right answer. It's both. And the third lesson is visiting a church for a demonstration of a large organ, and of course something special with a concert or a quiz. We have some people here who made nice quizzes for the children. They play things and they have to guess which tune it is, or there is one special program about animals. There is a suit for my cat, and then you have to hear in the music, what is the cat doing now? Is he sleeping or playing? And you can hear that in the music, and when the organist plays that, it's fun for the children to recognize that. And that's a special quiz they play every year on the 4th of October, which is the day of St. Franciscus.
I see, yes.
And that's a tradition now. They have last year they needed the organ 2 days to bring it to all the schools in that certain town, and it was for the 3rd year after each. They started it in 2013, and now they are they are buying their own orgel kit now. The organ builder has made some more of them, and now they get their own one in a couple of months. So they have their own project organ kit to do it every year again, or how many times they want it. But it's a part of a total program with 3 things, and you can bring more special children concert or whatever you want.
So it's wonderful that it's not in a one event, right? It's a repeated 3 event series, basically, which immerses people, young children, more into the musical environment, right? Into the organ and culture, basically, and leaves a deeper impression, deeper footprints in their minds and souls, hopefully too. So wonderful, Erin. When you have those organ classes, right? Is it difficult to transport this instrument? What is your basically impression, experience, or is it very handy and it fits in a simple?
Well, being Americans, we supersized it. So my kit is less portable. It's a little heavier. It does not meet OSHA standards for one person being able to lift it and put it into the vehicle, but we're working on that. But it is, as Lydia said earlier, people saw a need early on for demo organs, but demo organs, as we know them, tend to be really big and cost $100 or a couple of $100 to even get to a location. So she and Wim Janssen took this to the next level. And yes, the OrgelKids organ is so very portable. It's just a fantastic feeling to wheel this little cart down a school hallway, and kids are saying, "What is that?" And it's like, it's a pipe organ. And they build this. And what's really interesting is they build this, and then we take them to one of the local organs. And in my neighborhood and in my town, the two mechanical action or tracker organs that we have are small ones. But the kids see them and they think, "Whoa, it's huge!" And we're like, "No, it's really a small one." And then we have to show them pictures of the truly huge, the Flintrops out there, and show them how big these instruments truly can be, and why it's called the King of Instruments.
Wonderful. I remember about 12 or even 14 years ago in America, when Osha and I were studying in Nebraska, University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Our professor and mentor and long-time friend now, Gene Bediant, organ builder Gene Bediant, who is now retired, he had paper pipes, right? Paper pipes. We could assemble them as an organ building class, right? The students for organ building class, we knew how it works, how it functions from paper, and we could blow them by mouth, right? And also it was interesting, he had this also simple kit which was all from glass, right? So the air channels, wind channels were all from glass, and all were inside mechanics were visible. It wasn't for perhaps for moving too much outside his shop. No, it's probably more stationary. Although it wasn't very big. It could have been transported too. So I also discovered some 14 years ago that this King of Instrument can be very simple and with cross section, right? And everything could be visible. So Lydia, what Wim did is extraordinary also in the sense that he took this simple idea and made it possible for group of children to assemble, not for organ builder to assemble, because he knows how it works and it's not a problem anymore for him or her, but for children who are first or third graders, right? Isn't that remarkable, Lydia?
I think it's very remarkable, because when the kid comes in the classroom, all the parts are just found in the box, not or in a special order or something. It's all thrown in a certain way in those box.
Wonderful.
So there is no order in it, and you have to find out what is it all. What are these things? Someone calls these pipes. So interesting. What can I do with it?
Are there any instructions like 1, 2, 3 steps? 1, 2, 3. You do this, you do that, and it's done.
I made some instruction cards from the different steps in it. And the first step is how to make the framework and how to find the right order in the keys and how to sort the pipes. I made instruction cards for every task, and with a lot of pictures, almost IKEA. But we see children do not look at those cards. They don't need it. It helps them by how it is. They see it and they just get started.
Erin, do kids get stuck sometimes when assembling this little organ? Get stuck and then they have to look at the cheat sheet, right? Or not? Maybe it's so self-explanatory and so natural for them, so that they get immersed and start building on their own.
But it's interesting because you can learn from your mistakes. So yeah, sometimes they go down a wrong corner, especially with building the frame, and they're like, "Oh, wait, I needed to do it in this order and not that order," because And so they have to back up. But that just makes them think more about what they've done and what they're doing, and just really interact with it at even a different level than if they were looking at pictures or looking at numbers. It makes them really look at the shape. And so that's a higher pedagogical value.
It's absolutely true, Erin. Today, in today's world, when following instructions is no longer sufficient, right? We have to think creatively, think like an
just
artist,
think.
right? Just think, figure out for
Just
themselves.
think.
And in this project, right, OrgelKids, they are encouraged to do this. It's a group project. Imagine if one or two people would be doing this, it would be maybe frustrating to not to know whether you are building it in the right way. But now 30 kids are in the room, so their minds are 30 times as smart, right? So to say, they can learn from their each own mistakes.
And they ask questions, and they are solving this problem together by thinking loud, thinking, what am I doing here, and why doesn't it work? And then the other comes in and say, well, maybe we have to do this or that, or I saw them working on it, and everything was in order with the keyboard, and they made the bellows. That was all right, and then one was pumping and the other one wanted to play, and they didn't hear anything. No pipes placed.
Or the sliders might be closed in the closed position.
No, they didn't put on the pipes already.
They just really didn't have the pipes. That's wonderful. And that's a wonderful teaching moment. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't forget it anymore.
Ever.
Erin, I was going to ask you this: who are more excited in the classroom situation when they discover the pipe organ and they start to build? The boys or the girls? Or it's a wrong question at all?
I thought you were going to ask about the age. The teachers and the adults are just as excited as the kids.
Right.
But the boys, it was great to see in this situation that the girls were holding their own. I mean, there's one thought in education that you need to separate them because girls kind of get pushed out of the way in math and engineering settings. And I did not see that happen in this classroom. But it would be also interesting to break it down and let there be examples of, or opportunities for kids to build it as just one kid or two kids, or break it down into just boys and just girls, or, that's another fun thing about this kit is you can bring it into so many different situations, and it can be built in so many different ways in many different venues.
Yeah.
Lydia, isn't that amazing that today people can build an organ in the classroom, right? But that is this idea is actually mind-blowing because it has so many ramifications. Because you can not only apply this idea to organ building, right, or music class, or whatever this instruction is, but you can, you can try to build a car, right? Or try to build a chemistry kit, right? Or a physics something, or a telescope, right? If there is one, like a kit, right? I know that there was a radio kit, right? Where 101 ways to make a radio. Do you know anything about that? In the past, in America, I think there was a kit called 101 ways to make a radio, and this kit had strange building materials, and you build it in various ways, and you get a radio. And a second way is you building, and you get a radio. And the third way, you building something strange, and you get a radio. Also the same thing. But with chemistry kit is different. was different, right? With fires and explosions and sulfur and smells and lightning, right? Very dangerous material, real chemistry, real science, hands-on. So I was also thinking that this kind of building hands-on material could be applied to widest amount of classroom settings, right? And classes, basically curriculums, across the board, multidisciplinary level.
Yeah. Well, maybe, but we just fixed on the organ now.
Yes, but you know what other scientists...
The concept of a kit with materials where you can build something is applied on other subjects too. We have physics kits and with all kind of material to do experiments in the classroom. But yeah, this one is very specific on it will become an organ, and there's only one way to make it an organ that will make sound.
Mm-hmm, true.
You cannot make just about your radio in all different ways.
Right.
There is only one way to get this one working.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But what you can experiment with is how does it produce sound? What if I put my hand on a pipe, on the mouth of a pipe? Will it sound or will it not sound? Can I put my hand on the open upside of the pipe? What will happen then? How do the sliders work? The track, what's the name?
Trackers. Mm-hmm.
The stops. How will that work? What helps to make the sound more loud or softer? Those kind of experiments you can do when the organ is built. When it's built up and you can play, you're not finished. You can do more with it when it's ready.
Wonderful. Erin, what did you discover was the most challenging thing in this project for you or for kids so far?
How to bring it to the States.
Actually, yes. How did you bring it to the States? That's very interesting.
The most difficult part, well, it's such a beautiful project that it was rather an easy process. Mm-hmm. Tapping the right resources. In the case of the United States, that was tapping the American Guild of Organists. Especially the larger chapters have resources and grants to fund. I think typically they fund things like pipe organ encounters and outreach programs like that. They fund concerts, one-time events. And so when I presented this project to them, they saw that this was kind of a game changer in that this is such a powerful new tool for pipe organ outreach. And so even though I'm based in Oregon, we were able to get support from the New York City chapter of AGO, Seattle chapter of AGO, and San Francisco chapter of AGO, all through lots of resources into this so that we can serve as a pilot program for the entire United States. And hopefully once I get this in their hands, then they'll say, we need our own kit, and then they'll commission their own kit. And so that we have enough organs in the States to truly service the entire geographic area. But so I think because it's such a beautiful idea that Wim and Lydia had, the process actually was very easy. And I did it in part just to show my boys, how do you do a project like this? How do you start a company, a nonprofit? How do you fundraise? How do you network? So there's lots of curriculum and overlays that you can put on OrgelKids. We were talking about physics. You can also do the business model.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how old is Peter right now? How old is he?
He is now 8. And his younger brother Simon is 6, and they've both, they both had lots of different roles in this. Letter writing to American organists and American groups.
Beautiful. Did you film this? Did you make a video of this process? They were writing and you would do. It was.
I took photos.
Maybe it's nice to tell you how it started, because the starting point was that I received a message from Erin. What is your home address? Because my son wants to send you a letter. So I was thinking, why? You have my email address, so what do you?
I'm going to make him handwrite it.
And okay, I gave my address, and then there came a handwritten letter and a picture of him behind an organ, and he made clear what he wanted. OrgelKids has to come to the United States, and we can get amount of money for that. And please give me the drawings. Can I have them? Because then we can ask a local organ builder to make an offer, and we can ask for that amount of money. Well, I asked Wim, we will do this, don't we? Yes, we do. I sent the drawings. I scanned them and I sent them to the mail address. And Erin printed those drawings and put them at the breakfast table next day. And that's very nice. She made pictures of that for me. For this, I still remember you wrote me, it was almost Christmas at our breakfast table, and then you see those wonderful smiles and faces of the boys for the drawings, and they were so happy. That was the starting point of OrgelKids in the USA.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was like Christmas, and both Simon and Peter's faces seeing Wim Janssen's hand-drawn plans. And this came from the other side of the world. They're being so sharing with this wonderful idea, and then it's on us to do the rest and make this happen.
The drawing themselves are a piece of art. So they're very natural. They're probably not done by computer, right?
The originals, yeah.
So,
but the story went on because there are so much more people who wanted these drawings, and the organ building company Vroegindeveij, they had their anniversary 125 years. They existed last year, and they decided to make 4 more of these organs to sell to people who want to have them their own. And they made more professional drawings of it. It's a set of 24 drawings, and they gave them to me as computer drawings and PDFs. And people can make a donation to OrgelKids. It's for the project of some 50 euros. And they have a set of drawings, and they can build their own organ.
Beautiful.
In the same concept. And just this week I received pictures from someone who is building his own organ, and it's almost finished.
Yay! Where?
So where is it located?
This one is in the north of the Netherlands. And there are some people who order for the drawings from all over the world now. So,
excellent. So I've heard that in Lithuania are people interested into building and developing OrgelKids idea also. So you might hear from my colleagues too. Wonderful. Yeah. Isn't that great that this idea can become viral like a virus, right? And spread across the world in a good way, and develop more love for the organ art globally.
We hope so.
Yes, so that's my secret hope, my evil plan, so to say, that with this interview also we can reach people from 89 countries, organists from 89 countries, and hopefully some of them will get intrigued by this idea, what you can do in their own country, right? What they can, how can they do organ outreach with the set of tools that you are providing, Lydia, right? And with the example of Erin and her kids, her family basically pioneering this project in the United States of America. So it's completely global project, and I hope it will catch fire.
Yeah, I think one woman reached out to me in South Africa, and she's married to an organ builder. And I reminded her recently that your plans are for sale, Lydia. So, soon maybe in South Africa, they'll have OrgelKids. I saw yesterday that someone in Japan was sharing the original video and creating a conversation in Japan. So, yeah, it's growing.
Yeah, we do a lot with Twitter and Facebook, so that's marvelous international medium to share it together.
Oh, you could do live events across the globe where people or classrooms collaborate, not only 30 kids, but maybe 30 classrooms, right, from different 30 countries come together and build 30 organs. Wouldn't that be, I don't know, crazy and in a good way?
We tried
I can tell you one of the plans that I'm working on now, because you asked, is this better than a game on a smartphone?
Yeah.
We are going to make an app, a game on a smartphone right now, and that will help you to discover the story of an organ. And the storyline I see now is that when we have the drawings, the plans of an organ, what do we need? And then you have to make several levels in the game to collect all the materials you need to build your own organ. And at the end,
I have a feeling if we met in 5 years from now, we could have all kinds of stories to share, right? In this kind of area.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Let's hope. It would be nice to have other people who have nice ideas to make it complete or more complete. This project. Please be welcome.
Thank you so much, Lydia and Erin, for this such an inspiring conversation. I feel like we're having a virtual cup of cappuccino together right now. Yes, Erin is having, and Lydia. So wonderful. I hope only that I only have a bottle of water here. I only hope that we will meet face to face sometime in the future, and we share those ideas with people around you and across the globe too. So thank you so much, Lydia and Erin, for your time, generosity, and of course people from 89 countries are dying to know more about how they can reach you and how they can connect with you and your work and your project. So can you, Lydia and Erin, share the links for them that they can click and visit your websites and channels and all other places that you can go online?
Okay. Well, my website has multilingual options. So the normal Dutch version is orgelkids.nl, but when you will come in by the English way, you can put in orgelkids.org.
OrgelKids.
And then you start on
org.
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 And then you start on the English version. And a German version is also available, but you see it on the flags on the upper side of the site. And well, the other thing is we are on Twitter, OrgelKids and on Facebook. And OrgelKids is my version, and OrgelKids USA on Facebook is the version of Erin. But we work together and repost each other's messages. And you are still working. You are working on a site, Erin, isn't it?
Yes. It's so much easier to update and keep people abreast of changes that are happening so quickly using Facebook. So, I tend to point people to just search for OrgelKids on Facebook, and you'll find everything. And then, yes, my website is OrgelKidsUSA.org. And it's in need of updating since we have, 2016 was our fundraising, and now 2017 is going to be our inaugural year of getting the kits out to American kids. And so we're shifting gears right now.
Yeah. I guess that both of you made tons of videos, right, about this project, so that people and adults and kids can really, look at your YouTube channel probably too, Lydia. Right.
I have a YouTube channel, but that needs more attention to fill it with new videos. I will do that, but there's not so much on it now. But the real important videos you find on the website.
Right. When there are two of you doing this like a team, right, across Atlantic, and probably more people will join you, right? Probably, Lydia, what you could ask for the people who collaborate, who buy or donate, right, who buy your drawings, right, and try to build their own organ kits. Maybe they could also send you some pictures, videos, postings, any information that you could repost and share. It's all going to be very, very interactive across the world, I feel.
We do have a closed group on Facebook for discussions about the organ, and we will invite the people who have the drawings to come in that group. They can discuss their questions there, and the results of their building we will share, of course, in the open pages.
Wonderful. So, any closing ideas, Erin, Lydia? What would you like our listeners to find out more about OrgelKids? Before we end, do you have any inspirational thoughts for the future for them?
I have one wish to organists all over the world, and maybe a lot of them do this already, but please give your hospitality at the organ. And when you have a organ loft in your church, be open, be inspiring, ask children to come up and let them experience what is happening there upstairs. Because when you're sitting in a church and you see an organ, it's just a thing at the wall. It doesn't move when it has no shutters or whatever. But when it's still hanging there is nothing to see. But it's very impressive for children to see when you're playing with your hands and with your feet and all those things, and you're sitting inside the organ. How great is that? Let children please see it. Be polite. Let them come in. Let them join you. Let them sit on the bench just near to you, and when you are playing, and that's the first spark you can give.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Let me make another picture, right, with the dog also, Erin's dog. Beautiful. Beautiful. So thank you so much one more time, one last time, and I hope we meet again with other stories to tell about OrgelKids to the world. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
If you liked this conversation, I encourage you to visit my blog, Secrets of Organ Playing, at organduo.lt, where you will find lots of insights, practical advice, and training for every area of organ playing. You can subscribe to this blog for free to get your daily dose of inspiration and to be the first to know when any of my future podcasts roll out. I hope to help you reach your dreams in organ playing. I'm Vidas Pinkevičius. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you online really soon.